is way more risky than introducing a brand into a country. If you introduce a brand into a country, you will make way more money than just getting a buyer.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brand new episode of Live Sattviko Talks. Today we have a very smiling and a pleasing personality from Spain, Mr. Alex Bastarós. And welcome, Alex, to the Live Sattviko Talks.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. So, viewers, I would introduce Alex to all of you. So Alex is the founder of Konektor International, based out of Barcelona, Spain. Alex helps suppliers from all over the world to enter the new markets. He helps them strategically, thanks to his background on international sales and thanks to his large network. He also helps the suppliers find the buyers. So the main objective of Alex's work is to help the buyers to find great products and the suppliers find the sales to a new market, especially the European and the Saudi Arabian market. So, Alex, welcome once again, and it's great to see you here.
Thank you a
lot. So, Alex, before we begin the session, I would like to post you the first question, which is pretty much common that the entrepreneurs in the network keep asking. So it's around before entering the international market. How important is it for a brand to define a target consumer, understand the market opportunity and the competitive landscape?
Yeah. So basically, you have to understand that in each market, the culture, the client will be completely different. So a product that is working in your market or in the market you're working right now don't have to work in the other markets, and it happens a lot with different continents. If we're speaking, if you want to export to a different continent or even different country here, let's say in Europe, if you're from Spain and you want to export to, let's say, Germany, they have a completely different culture. So it doesn't need to work there what is working in your country. And the same goes for India and at least the suppliers are working with mainly from India, China, Singapore, and here from Europe. They have to understand that you have either to study the market, know if there is a niche for your product, and then just take your steps and introducing the product into the market. If you don't understand who is your client, if you understand if there is a niche or there will be a niche, because not always has to be at the same moment that you enter a market that you already have the niche. But if there is that necessity that your product solves that, you have to do it very strategically. So yeah, all information nowadays is extremely important.
So coming on to the next question. Why do you think it is crucial for a brand to focus on the value propositions and the core differentiators when they're coming into the market? Because that there's so much of competition and so much of so many options for the consumers to have. So how does a brand focus on its on the value prop and the core differentiators? I mean, how does a brand work? So if you want to take some examples, I mean, that would be great.
Yeah, so you mentioned it. Competition is the main difficulties that companies nowadays have. If you are a small producer, you always have that big risk that a huge company comes, just copy your product, just do it better with a better marketing, and then just kick you off. So you have to have something that first will say to the final customer, okay, I'm different from all these other brands all the other options that you have. First that, and then it's also a barrier for competition to enter, because if you are like you have these different values, they can copy the product, they can copy the marketing, they can copy other stuff, but it's very difficult. More differentiations you have, it's more difficult for them to copy you or to become direct competition to you. So I believe that's one of the main strategic um, important things that you have to do when you try to offer, the value propositions. You try to differentiate yourself, your product from your competitors.
Okay. So, I mean, in continuation to this, obviously the brands work a lot around differentiating themselves, and obviously one important aspect of it is packaging. So, when we talk about packaging, how important is the impact of communication of the brand's vision on the packaging, and how does it help the brand?
I mean, of course, it's extremely important. No, it's the same if you see somebody that you've never met in your life, when you walk into a bar or into a store or something, and you say, "Wow, she's amazing," or "he is amazing." When you are first attracted to somebody, it's because what you see. Same goes to consumers. Once they enter the supermarket or whatever place you're buying your stuff, the first thing you see is the packaging. And if you have three, four, five products that are the same, then you look at the price, and then you have to feel that trust, that something inside you saying like, okay, what is this product? I trust them. It's professional. So you have to work a lot on packaging. Once you're talking to supermarkets, you're talking to getting that first um, getting that first purchase. That somebody that never made your brand, they've never seen it in ads or in anywhere, and then they give you that trust. That okay, I'm gonna buy this product, and let's say you can have the best product ever, but if the packaging is sketchy and it's not really nice packaging, not professional, maybe the colors are off, maybe you're trying to be super green and super natural food, but then you're all black and you're all with these weird colors. People maybe they're like, okay, I don't understand what's inside. So that's why for me it's very important once I'm trying to, if the message from the supplier is okay, transparency. You have to understand the product, because maybe it's a new product, maybe it's something that you don't understand if I say the name, but you've never known what is the product. Okay, then let them see. Let them just put a small part of your packaging that is transparent, and they can see the product. Maybe you can just say the three most important things that describe your product. Okay, it's plant based. It's 100% natural or organic, or I don't know. But it's very important that in three 3 seconds that customer has to understand a little bit what they're going to buy, just for them to make that choice.
Okay, thanks. Right. So, I mean, we have also seen that the brands have been focusing a lot on telling the stories on the packaging as well, uh, than pure product selling. So that is the transition which has happened in the marketing front as well. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Again, before a couple of days, well, not a couple of years, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, people had a need. They wanted to buy, let's say, one kind of food or detergent, or they had a need, and they have few options, no? So they went there, they bought it, they didn't care about the brand, they didn't care about anything else. Nowadays, you want to know who is behind, you want to know what this company is doing to improve society. I don't know what this company is treating the employees, how this company is, I don't know, trying to reduce plastics, all this stuff. Why? Because people are changing. A lot of people are changing their mindset. They want to know what they're eating. They want to know how the people behind this company think, how the people behind this company works. So you have to tell them. You have to, of course, tell them if you are doing the right things. You have to tell them, and people want to know that. So it's very important that your website, your packaging, your social media, you're transparent and you can get closer to the people because brands wants to. You might have one product, but when you build a brand that you want to go for the long term, people they have to know the brand. They have to know same way you start. You meet a person and you start knowing them, and you get better friends, better friends, better friends. It goes the same with the brands. So they try your first product, and then they see a video of you and how you're just doing stuff for the environment. I don't know, or how you see the factory, how they're manufacturing the products. So you get closer and closer and closer, and you trust them more, you trust them more, and then when you have one product from this brand and another product from their competitors, you always will go for the brand that you know, that you trust, and you've been buying from them. So it's extremely important.
Right, rightly said. So, obviously, while you have had a good stint in the international sales, and you have, met a lot of, connected a lot of buyers and suppliers, to do some businesses. So, we have what we have been seeing is a rapidly growing trend of plant-based foods in the international market. So, specifically talking about Europe and Saudi Arabia, where you have spent a good amount of time in, with your connections. So how are you seeing the growing trend of plant-based foods in these two markets?
I mean, I think long term that will be the one of the main all this sector. I'm talking about vegan. I'm talking about plant based. I'm talking about all healthy and superfoods. It's a very trendy right now in Europe. It's very trendy. I would say around the world. But what I believe that will happen is in few years it will get even bigger. It will start supplying all these replacing sorry all these big big chains, big brands that we all know nowadays, but they use all these different chemicals. They use all these different ingredients that are not good for us. So what we're seeing is that, as I was mentioning before, that people are more they're getting more knowledge about what they're eating. They're getting more knowledge. They look more at the ingredients. They look more at the sugars, the all the chemicals or everything that they add to the products. So I believe this as I said, plant-based, vegan, gluten-free, all these foods will be the future. They are huge right now, but in let's say 5 to 10 years, they will be huge, huge, and you will see that more often than the other kind of products.
Right. So great insights, Alex. And coming on to my last question for the session. This is more around talking about how, as Connector International, you can help brands, budding entrepreneurs to find their right buyers in the international market. And what role and what strategy do you suggest to play in? So what would be the right move for any budding entrepreneur to work with people like you, companies like you, and find the right fit?
Okay, so first we have to understand that I'm not working with all the companies. I don't. I choose very carefully who I work with because once we accept a company to work with us, the success is almost 100%. meaning that we like to work with producers that they they want to enter new markets, but they have the capacity that they do things well. They if they get if they get they have to send products, they will send it on time. I mean, being professional, no, but and the brand is nice and everything. So basically, how we help them is that first we have two ways of helping them. Just finding them buyers. That's the easy part. So we just connect them. That's the name of Konektor. And then the other way is like if they just don't want one buyer, if they really want to enter a new market and enter, meaning that they will get not just again, not just one buyer, not just one brand of supermarkets. They will get into the whole market. We're talking about millions and millions of sales. So we have to do it strategically. That means that depending on the market, you have to know people in there. You have to know which ways you can just get new clients every month without having to invest. That's what we do. We strategically think. So if we're talking about Saudi Arabia right now, Saudi Arabia is not just like okay, we're trying to go and find buyers and just do the things in a wrong way that doesn't work right now. It used to work over there, not right now. So the best way to enter a new market is first work with somebody who really understands that. In this case, the markets we're working, for example, those are markets that we have really good connections. We understand how a brand can enter. We can even get franchises. We can get huge distributions. So how we usually work is first we filter if we really like the product, if we like the company, then we accept them. Then we see what potential, what product the production capacity they have. If they have huge production capacity, then we'll go for the second option. Then we'll start moving and doing all the bureaucracy, and we'll start talking to investors, maybe to the people that control all the market, to say like, okay, we have this product that previously we mentioned that we introduced it to them, and they say that there is a niche over there. So once we've done all this work, they'll start sending to us the new buyers, and again and again and again. This way, they will grow as a brand in the country instead of just getting one buyer and just like the problem of just getting one buyer is that you're not in the country, meaning that next day a better supplier arrives and then just with better prices or better product, and then you just lose the buyer. So that's very important. That's one thing that I really recommend to the people I know, or to the people I meet, is that usually we're in a sector that people just want to find clients. It's the most common thing. It's like, yeah, just find me a buyer, just find me a buyer. And they don't understand that this way is way more risky than introducing a brand into a country. If you introduce a brand into a country, you will make way more money than just getting a buyer. And again, if you just get a buyer, that's risky. The other way around, you'll get multiple buyers and you position yourself in the country. So that's what I recommend and what we do. And when we do it is it's very step by step. It's not like huge investments. It's not. It doesn't work like this. And it's very smart way to do it because at the end of the day, my client, my my interests are that the supplier makes a lot of money because if they do that, they will not open just Saudi Arabia. We will help them to open all Europe, South America. So it's but sometimes it's pretty hard smaller suppliers to for them to understand that to that's the most common thing that I find that's the difference between brands that in 1 year and a half they are making millions in a new country, exporting to a new country, they're making millions. And other brands that they just enter the market, but they don't go deep enough, and then just they say like, okay, next year they're like selling a few containers, but nothing too big. So what I would suggest to all these suppliers that really want to grow is just to find somebody expert in that market that will not charge them a lot. The investment is very little compared to the amount of money that they will be making in the mid and long term and even short term because again once we start entering the new markets, we are the first ones that will find the buyers that we already have the contacts. So, but there's a different way. It's a different way of thinking. One way is just the short term, and we will not be there for the long run. And the other way is just like our interests are aligned. We go together everywhere. We can just introduce them to the big people in all these countries. So what I would recommend is like if you're a smaller supplier that just wants a little bit of sales in different countries, or you want to test the market, just find a buyer, find an agent that will charge you a fee for just to get a buyer in a country. But if you're looking for more long term, you're looking to grow your company, and you're not looking just for some few sales, I would definitely recommend that the second option. So that's
So, thank you so much, Alex, for sharing your insights around the market. And definitely, this is going to help a lot of entrepreneurs and budding businessmen to enter into the international market. And I would like to thank you once again for sparing your time and coming onto the talks, and look forward to have more sessions and discussions with you.
I would love to. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I hope I helped somebody. And let me know if you have questions or anything afterwards.